I quit my job. Not really a job. I was a contractor at a startup, and I was not very happy with where I was and where my life was going. And I always wanted to make content and be a creator, um, with the purpose of helping people, sharing what I know, but also being able to make money with my own business, or personal brand. And Uh, I've been writing and posting content daily uh, ever since October 3rd. So almost 2 months now. Um, I'm posting on LinkedIn. I know, like, not my the most common platform choice, but it was just easier to write and post there because you can just literally post written content. Um, and you can do like longer medium form, so it's a bit different than Twitter. And I also don't like to use Twitter. But anyways, uh, yeah, the oh shit, the light just died. But yeah, I still have like a second one. But yeah, so I've been writing content and it's been very transformative, I would say. Um, the main thing that I wanted to do was, okay, here's the thing. I wanted to help people start their content creation journey, because that's like the thing that I wanted the most for the past like 8 years or so. But I never like was successful at it. Like, I did some YouTube videos in the past. You can probably see them right now in my channel. I cringe every time I watch them, but and the other light died. Well, but yeah, like those videos, I'm really proud of them, but I would say it's not like my best work. But I'm proud because I tried, like it was showing up. And it was very hard for me at the time because I was very insecure. And it would pain, like my body would ache from the fact that I was like recording a video and speaking to a camera and imagining someone is gonna see this and they're gonna make fun of me. And it terrified me. It was like, it really did like hurt my body. It was very hard, very, very hard. And but yeah, like I did that. Um, I started posting on Instagram too because I was very big on Gary Vee around that time. So I was trying to do all his like content repurposing system, but I say I was not very successful because I would try to do that. So like perhaps I did like 3 or 4 videos, you know, in a matter of a few weeks. But then I would give up because I thought what I was doing was not good enough. And eventually I would go back to it. So, like, in a span of a few months. And I would go back, do more content, try a different direction, or, try to approach it in a different way. And then I would stop again. Because what I was feeling was, this is terrible, this is not good enough, I'm very nervous, I'm very insecure. And I don't really know. Back then, I didn't know what I could be about. So imagine, like, you're already embarrassed of what you're doing, so insecure of people judging you. And on top of all that, you have no idea, no clear direction of where you want to go, or what you can talk about. Because the biggest, I guess, the most common advice is you need to find a niche and make content around that niche. And I didn't know what my niche could be. So I was just trying to do what Gary Vee says, which is like to document instead of create. And that's what I was trying to do. So I was just talking about my life, like I was making content talking about how to make content or my struggle of making content. So I don't know, I just never felt like it was a good enough topic, I guess. And also because I didn't want to be like the guy that was uh, making content about how to make content, and I wanted to eventually turn that into a business. Like, I wanted to get clients, and perhaps do like coaching or consulting. And so I would be the guy that was making money on social media by teaching other people how to make money on social media. And I didn't want to be that because it felt like you're just a scam if you do this. I mean, at least that's what people think. But I knew I wasn't going to be like that because I really did have good intentions, and I had some experience in business. By that time, it was like 2018. At the end of 2018, that was like my first uploads, and then I did in 2019 a few ones, then 2020 maybe. And in 2018, that was the first time I got like a freelancing job as a mobile app developer, and I had a pretty good year financially. I mean, at least compared to where I was at, which was like zero money and zero direction. I did some freelancing. I got some clients. The whole thing kind of sucked, but I had some experience. So I was like, man, I kind of know how business works, like very kinda, because it was very at the beginning. And I was like, I have some good advice, but I didn't want to talk about that. I didn't want to be like the guy talking about freelancing because I had this aspiration of mine, which was to create content. And I dreamed of being a YouTuber, content creator, and that's what I was most passionate about, and that's what I thought I had to be talking more about. So, anyways, back then it was hard. But yeah, but now like I'm writing daily, and I have this idea of help. Still have the same idea pretty much of helping people like get started on this. But from one of the new ideas that I had was like to help people, instead of like have a business, make content about something, do that related to the things that you enjoy, and in a way that you can focus on living your life, and going after like your life's vision, and use that to extract content and extract like things that you can sell to make money. And I wrote about that last week. I made a pretty good like letter about it, let's say. I sent it to my email list, I posted on my website, and I was very proud of it. Like, man, last week I was like on fire, like ideas flowing and everything started making sense. I was like, man, this is incredible. This is gonna be my life's work. But then this weekend I was like, fuck, what did I do? Like, who am I? I'm a fraud. I'm doing the same thing all over again. Like, talking about people. I'm talking to people, teaching them how to turn themselves into a product by being the guy who teaches them the same thing. Like, I was just thinking, like, having very negative thoughts. And yeah, but I still think that's a good idea, like, because the intention behind the idea is good. Like, and that idea made sense to me because I saw myself living for work, going after money all my life. And it's like a good 10 years of my life, the good past 10 years of my life, were solely focused on what can I do to make money. And usually when you go that route, you try to find like the easiest things you can do, like, oh, what is the best business ideas that are trending at the time, or what kind of mindless job can I do to make money? Because in reality, what I wanted was to actually live my life, like do certain things. For instance, I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to go to restaurants like I saw people doing, you know. I wanted that kind of life, and I didn't want to feel like I was just like wasting my days away because I was very depressed back then. But yeah, like in reality, I just wanted to live. But for me to do the things that I wanted, I needed money. And that's like the problem everyone faces, right? We don't really want to work. We just want the money that work gives us so we can do the things that we actually want to do. And what I wrote last week about was, why don't we put this into reverse? Like, why don't we say, hey, this is what I want to live? Like, this is my vision. And the fact that you're pursuing your vision, you end up being faced with challenges. Those challenges are problems that you need to solve. And then you have to solve those problems somehow, you know, like you either have to learn something new or you need to become a different person to overcome those obstacles. But the bottom line is you solve that problem somehow and you are transformed, you know, like you bridge the gap between where you were and when you wanted to be. Perhaps not the entire gap, but a few steps of that gap. And so the idea was, since you've done that for yourself, you can turn that into a product or service, you know, something you can sell to other people like you that want a similar outcome that you do. And I got that idea because I read a lot of what Dan Cole writes. So he's another creator. He's very big on YouTube. And he has this whole idea of like, you are the niche, you are the market, you know, just create products for yourself. And that makes a lot of sense because if you combine these ideas, you're striving to live the life that you want. You know, you have your vision, and to get there, you need to do certain things. So, again, you need to solve obstacles because if we could just like, oh, I'm here, I want to be there, and then poof, you're there, you wouldn't have the issue that you have right now, right? Because the issue is you can't get there because there's something in your way. And I thought that was a pretty cool idea because then I'm like, yeah, now you're not living for the money or focusing on work. You're just focusing on living your life the way you want. And then by doing that, the work is born. Like the money starts happening because you're going that direction, you're solving your own problems, and then you can turn those solutions into things that you can sell for the people that want a similar thing that you do. Yeah, I thought that was like pretty genius. I still think though. And yeah, that was I was like, you know, this could be my thing. Like I could literally just talk about this. But then this, you know, negative thoughts came and I was like, yeah, what am I doing? I'm just a fraud, you know, like haven't done anything with my life. Who am I to say this? But actually I did do a lot of things with my life. Example, you know, after I freelanced for a year, I made some money, but I was burning out because I was working with terrible clients. So I learned a few things there. I tried to make content. You know, I didn't become a big creator, but I learned how to shoot a video, how to edit a video, or what is the thought process that goes behind, oh, what do I post today? You know, I turned videos into Instagram posts, like carousels, single images, shorts. I know how to repurpose a big video into shorts, you know, add captions. So anyway, moving forward, since you know, content creation was not going well for me, meaning I was not making money from it, I needed a way to make money. So what I did was I started teaching people how to code. Like I created like a one-on-one kind of offer when I was like coaching and tutoring and mentoring programmers, new programmers, because that's what I had the most experience in. And that went pretty well, I'd say. I think I made more money with that than I did with freelancing. But I just didn't have a lot of students, and I was using a platform, Fiverr, at the time. And just it's terrible, like you rely on a platform, you don't build a brand, you're just competing for money. And usually people that go on Fiverr are looking for cheaper prices. So yeah, but from that experience, I learned a lot. So like, if you go to Fiverr and you could see my gig there, I had like 55-star reviews, and from students and people that worked with me, and they were all like super like amazed. Wow, this person is incredible. He's very good at what he's doing. I'm not bragging, but my point is, I understood what was necessary to make people happy with my services. I cared about them more than I cared about money, and that's why I was successful at that. Successful in the terms of I did a pretty good job. I didn't become rich from it, but either way. From those things, so from my students, I got like 3 new freelance projects. Again, for programming, like software engineering. Those went well. One of them didn't. It was gonna be like a $72,000 contract per year, because I was gonna be the main developer of a startup. But I had to walk away from that because the project didn't make sense to me. The person I was working with, it was kind of confusing to me. So I was like, I'm not gonna do a very good job, so I'm gonna have to let this go. Then a few months went by. Another student offered me a position at his startup. That was Ben. If you're watching this, what's up? So I started working with him. We had a very good relationship, and I suddenly find myself in a leadership position. So he hired me to be the lead developer of his company. He had a few developers working for him, so I started leading them. So like, oh, these guys, the team is not that well, let me start hiring people for you. So I started hiring people for him, managing these people, like being the senior developer, taking care of the juniors, coaching them, mentoring them, something that I was already doing. I was excited because it was somewhere between what I wanted to do more. I always wanted to be in a position of leadership, because I used to say I wanted to be the leader that I wish I had when I had to do like mindless jobs. But yeah, and then like I started doing that, and he turned me into head of product, and I started giving him advice on everything related to the business, like not only the engineering of the product, but what can we do with the brand, like the content, the strategy. We developed a very good relationship. I was kind of like an advisor at the same time that I was doing these other roles. And I did that for like a year and 6 months at least, something like that. We had a pretty good thing going on, and that gave me more experience, like a different kind of experience. So going back to what I was saying, it's not like I am this person that I thought I was during my mental breakdown, because I gather a very good collection of experiences throughout my life. And one thing that I would say is, I think we do a pretty crappy job at recognizing the things we've done, and also the impact and the value those things had. And we are often trying to create better opportunities, but we're just not doing a very good job at collecting the ones we've already did. So for instance, when you're writing content, I'm writing content daily. Like, I wanted to use it to get clients, because I was like, I love teaching people. I know a lot about business. I want to do coaching. I want to help people build their products and the businesses, uh, and that's what I'm doing now, by the way. So when you're doing content, you need to talk to these people somehow, right? And people fall short most of the time because they're trying to create content, like speaking from the outside because they're trying to speak to someone out there. But going back to this collection thing is, you don't need to talk about the future. All you need to do is talk about the past. Like, what have you done? What did you solve for yourself? What are the stories, the experiences you had? And even if you're doing something new, you can use those old experiences as a proof of competence that you can do what you were promising someone you can do. Yeah, and like, that's a very good idea because it kind of takes away the weight of having to create content. You're just like learning how to recognize the things you've already done instead of having to create new things, You're just like putting a record out there. Hey, this is what I did. This is what I did. This is what I did. And eventually people are like, oh, this person did that. They might be able to help me. And if you are offering something that they want, they go and hire you. That's social selling 101. I'm just joking. I mean, it sounds simple, it is. The only thing is like, you have to do it, like. I like something that Alex Hormozi says, which is, anything can work, you just need to make it work, It's like you need to put in the time and the effort, because every idea, okay, ideas are worthless by themselves. It's the execution that matters. So I think that's what the bottom line here is. Anything that you want to do can work. It's just a matter of you making it work. And it's a noble concept. I guess that what we struggle the most is like, okay, I don't have the time to wait around for this to work because I need the money, which is fair. Like, I've been there. Everyone has been there or still is there. But yeah, like if we can find that balance, like if you really want something, which is your life's vision, it can work. You just need to make it work. Like, what are the things that you need to do? How can you do those things? And perhaps, how can you do those things, while at the same time having to work a job, for instance? No, because like, if you really need money, the easiest way to get money is to work a regular job. I know it's like not what we want to hear, but fortunately it's the truth. Like, if you go the entrepreneurial route, it takes time to take traction, especially if you don't have a lot of money and experience. Because if you know your way and you have resources, that can be faster. But yeah, if you're like just like me, a regular person, it does take time and it takes effort. But it can work. And I would argue that that's the thing you should do the most, because it's the thing that you care about the most. And if you're here just working for money without spending your effort into making your dream come true, then why are you here? Like, I hate it when people say that we're here on a mission to accomplish something and then they make their life a chore. I don't think we're here to accomplish something, to like fulfill a duty. I think we are alive just for the fact that we are alive. Like, I think life is the goal of itself, meaning you're alive, so just enjoy your life. And that's why I think it's also the most important thing you can do is go after the thing that you really want. Because, for some reason, that is what you think is going to give you the most enjoyment and fulfillment and the realization. And if you think about it, when we are frustrated, it just means we have a potential that we haven't met. Like, we know we can do this thing, but we just never do it, and that frustrates us. And then we go about our lives walking around with that frustration. And then we're no good to ourselves and also no good to others, because when we are frustrated, when we're hurt, we end up spreading that around us. So we end up hurting others. And maybe we don't even realize it, or maybe we do it on purpose, but it happens. And last week I was like so happy with the work I was doing, because I was like, man, I'm a genius, I'm writing all these things. But I was like super excited, and I became like just like a nicer person to be around, and yeah, like imagine if we were all doing the things that we actually wanted to do, and we were all feeling fulfilled and realized. I think the world would just be a better place, Yeah, so, okay, how long have I been recording? Jesus, 20 minutes. Well, I'm gonna leave this off here. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna make another one of these tomorrow. So I'll see you.